The Lees were excited that their shy daughter was asked to get involved in school activities because she had not been given many opportunities to make friends. But they were alarmed to find out that upon returning home from the meeting, she told them that she would be transitioning despite never having had any thoughts about transgenderism before the meeting. Their daughter has since said she no longer desires to transition, but endured a months long emotional decline of gender and sexuality confusion that required that included counseling and included included thoughts. Okay, included thoughts. Now, here's what I always try to tell people. People say all the time, I can't homeschool my kids. I can't homeschool my kids. It's too inconvenient. I just can't do it. All these reasons I can't homeschool my kids. I don't know why you would ask a single parent to homeschool their kids, Carlin. Don't you know that people need to work? Don't you know that we have jobs? We can't homeschool our kids. Okay, fine. However, I promise you the inconvenience that you will experience figuring out how to homeschool your kids when there are all sorts of different solutions around that right now. There are family pods that get together to homeschool kids. There are all sorts of groups that can help you figure out how to do this. There are parents all over the country that figure out how to do this every day. And I know it's inconvenient and I know it's not what you want to hear and I know it's not what you want to do, but I promise you the inconvenience of figuring out how to homeschool your children will pale in comparison to the inconvenience that you experience when your little darling comes home after secretly attending a meeting of the Gay Straight Alliance in which Gender and Sexuality Alliance, not Gay Straight Alliance anymore. It will pale in comparison to the inconvenience of your little darling coming home after secretly attending a meeting of the Gender Sexuality Alliance in which the leader of the meeting, the teacher, says, don't tell your parents this, and then convinces your kid that they are trans when they are not trans. They have never had any thoughts of being trans. This has never been a thing except the school introduced it to them and then gave them all sorts of sparkly things and rainbow paraphernalia and flags and t-shirts and whatever if they just come out as trans at the Gender Sexuality Alliance meeting. And then your kid comes home and they don't tell you what's going on because the teachers at the school have said, don't tell your parents. This is a secret. You won't be safe. Your parents might kick you out of the house. Your parents aren't going to love you anymore if you come out as trans. So just don't tell them. So your kid doesn't tell you what's going on, but your kid starts to get depressed and anxious and have all sorts of problems. Even though the kid was fine before, now there are real problems. And you don't know what's going on until months later when the kid finally breaks down and tells you. And then you have to put your kid in therapy for months and months and months and months and months to deprogram them from the nonsense that they heard at the Gender Sexuality Alliance meeting. I know that homeschooling is not convenient for many people, or you don't perceive it to be convenient. But I promise you, it's going to be a whole heck of a lot better. Your kids are going to do better. Your kids are going to learn more. Your kids are going to be protected from all this insanity. And I'm not saying it's a guarantee that the schools are going to trans your kids because it's not. It's really not. Kids go to school every single day without being transed by the school district. However, if your kids are shy, if your kids are autistic, if your kids maybe are not part of like the cool kids club, they maybe don't fit in. They're kind of like they're kind of like in the out group sort of thing. Those kids are particularly susceptible to this sort of thing because what happens when they come out as trans is all of a sudden everyone wants to be their friend and all of a sudden everyone's giving them positive affirmation. All of a sudden, like these people who they never talked to before, they want to be their friend and they're saying, oh my God, you're stunning and brave and beautiful. And they're getting all this positive reinforcement. Those kids are particularly susceptible to that sort of thing. And so Erin even said her daughter was shy. Her daughter wasn't involved. This is the thing that got her daughter involved. I was shy in school. I am absolutely convinced. I've thought about this a lot. I am absolutely convinced that if I had gone to school today, I'm a massive tomboy. I have never ascribed to gender stereotypes. I had crazy hair in schools. I was always really rebellious of what the status quo was. I am absolutely convinced that if I went to school today, they would absolutely trans me. 100%. And I think a lot of people can look back and say the same thing. And so, like I understand homeschooling is not what you want to do, but do you want to deprogram your kid? Just think about it.